so I'll sell him away at 180. He goes at 180,000. On the market all the way, 90 up top there, 190 there, 190 there. I'm selling him all the way to the highest bidder now.
They come to the 250 metres now, and it's Nozomi who claimed Hampton Court, who's gone. Magic Quarter's running on, and Preferment and Bondiga are still coming up the middle of the course. Nozomi the leader, but Preferment and Bondiga are flying home. It's Preferment and Bondiga racing to the lead together. Preferment on the outside. Ollie's done it again. Preferment by ahead to Bondiga.
Welcome back to Dunstan Kiwi Bread. Preferment claimed the Group 1 Victoria Derby for trainer Chris Waller after being purchased through the 2013 Premier Sale for $190,000. Preferment's by Zabeel out of Flying Spur mare Better Alternative. Well, this season sees the last of the offspring of the mighty Zabeel step through the sale ring. And recently, Kiwi Bread caught up with Cambridge studs Marcus Corbin to discuss the end of an era in the New Zealand breeding industry. Well, Marcus, like his father Sir Tristram, Zabeel holds an almost equal record for producing the most Group 1 winners by a New Zealand sire. Zabeel's final two yearlings stepped through Karaka's sales ring this year. What do you think have been some of Zabeel's stud career highlights?
Well, the greatest thing I think Zabeel's done is keep New Zealand on the map. In Sir Tristram's era, there was basically only him and Star Way in New Zealand and Bletchley, but Zabeel's competed against Dane Hill, Readout's Choice, and he's kept firing out the Group 1 winners like this year again, and his daughters are going to be probably the greatest influence that we'll remember Zabeel by.
Over his tenure at Cambridge Stud, Zabeel's sired over 2,000 progeny. They've amassed stakes earnings of $185 million. They've won Caulfield and Melbourne Cups, Cox Plates, Derbies and Guineas. Do you feel an influence like Zabeel's on the classic New Zealand thoroughbred will ever be seen again?
I think New Zealand's gone away from its knitting and breeding stayers is our forte. Zabeel is a great advert for that. Waikato Stud done a great job with him, and you know that's what Zabeel and Sir Tristram was about, the stayers, and that's what New Zealand should be doing, and you know that's what he's done for the country. You know.
His highest priced yearling, Don Eduardo, still holds the Karaka record, selling for $3.6 million. Zabeel's had 9 yearlings join the $1 Million Club at Karaka, more than any other sire represented at the sale. But I guess what's been the most satisfying part about his stud career from your perspective?
To me, one of the most satisfying was topping Karaka at $3.6 million. I was actually behind the box, and to see Gay Waterhouse and Tick Tick go head to head was just unbelievable.
Well, Marcus, let's take a look at one of Zabeel's final 2 yearlings at Karaka this year, Lot 102, a half-brother to Easter Handicap winner Timekeeper, the Zabeel Organdy colt, a classic representation of a Zabeel.
Look, he's a late developing type of Zabeel. He's sort of a raw baby at the moment. He's a long, narrow, good walking sort of colt. He's very typical of Zabeel's. His half-brother won the other day. And you know he's probably a Derby type of colt, and he'll be a stronger type as he gets older. So he's probably, you're seeing here just a horse that's a little bit immature, but that's what it is, and that's the last Zabeel.
Looking ahead now to some of the other standout lots in the Cambridge Stud draft this year, Lot 21, the Fastnet Rock Lady Firebird colt from the family of 6-time Group 1 winner Mosheen, Might and Power and champion Hong Kong miler Lucky Owners.
Yeah, well, he's an outstanding individual. He's very typical of the Fastnet Rocks. He's got a lot of strength, and as you can see, he walks, got a mannerism about him. He's got an international pedigree, and he'll be a get-up-and-go autumn 2-year-old Guineas type of colt, so he ticks all the boxes.
Lot 37, the more than ready Love Trista colt, a grandson of dual Group 1 winner Trista Love, Viking ruler and De Beers, and plenty of quality about him, Marcus.
He looks very typical of the 8-carat family. He's got the colour, he's got the looks, he's got a lot of presence about him, and he could be the surprise package of the draft. He's got a stallion's pedigree, and he's from a very, very good family.
We'll cast our eyes now to lot 125, the Stravinsky Pride of Tralee filly. This a three-quarter sister to the wonderful Australian Oaks filly Serenade Rose.
Yep, look, this filly's really developed well. Stravinsky is another very good broodmare sire. The Lindsay's brought her half-sister last year. She got placed in the first trial. Serenade Rose has had a long road colt win by 4 lengths in Melbourne for Lee Friedman. David Hayes has got it. This family's really on the move, and for a stud looking for an international pedigree, this filly's a real get up and go.
We'll now check out lot 239, also out of a Zabeel mare, the Fastnet Rock Xantalar colt. This is the dam's first foal.
Well, again, this is a proven cross, Fastnet Rock over Zabeel. He's a short coupled colt. He's got a real cheeky attitude. He'll get up and run. And when you're looking at a few of the Fastnet Rocks, the smaller short coupled ones seem to be the get up and go. He's developed through the prep really well. He's got great hind quarter and he's growing all the time, so he'll be a beautiful Guineas type colt.
Lot 323, out of a Zabeel mare and by champion sire the Snitzel Copita colt from the family of Redute's Choice, Platinum Scissors and Manhattan Rain.
This colt's my best pick of the whole draft. He's a superstar. He's out of a Zabeel mare. His half-brother had his first start the other day and ran 5th for Lee Friedman. I spoke to Lee at Magic Millions. He's by High Chaparral. But this colt's a real snitchel. He's like Seamus Award, out of a Zabeel mare, big and strong, a lot of strength. He's an outstanding colt. Can't fault him.
And finally from the draft markers, lot 354, the Fastnet Rock Diamond Smile filly, a beautifully bred filly. This one, her dam, a sister to Don Eduardo and 3/4 to Octagonal. And I know yourself and Sir Patrick have a high opinion of this filly.
Well, she shouldn't be in the sale. I mean, if any stud in the world wants a blue chip filly, this is it. She's got size and scope. She's a half sister to Capital Diamonds. There's Love Trista, Trista Love. You name it, by the probably, if you looked at the Magic Million results, the China Horse Club and Spendthrift for trying to buy blue chip fillies, she'll be on everyone's list because if she never won a race, she's a blue chip broodmare, so she's an outstanding type.
A special moment for Sir Patrick Hogan as the last of the Zabeel yearlings step through the Karaka sales complex next week. Well, a buyer who's long supported Cambridge stud is David Ellis. And last year he was again Karaka's leading purchaser across the 2-day Premier's sale. Te Akau Racing's enjoyed plenty of success on the racetrack this season in both New Zealand and Singapore. Recently, Kiwi Bred caught up with David in between inspections to find out his thoughts on this year's sale.
Is there 500,000? 500,000 for, you look at the pedigree on the page, look at the end of it.
Well, David, you've been the top individual buyer at Karaka for the last 9 sales. You've bought 110 yearlings over the last 4 years from the Premier sale ring with enormous success. Horses like War Affair, King's Chapel, Warhorse, Princess Coupe, Darcy Brahma, Costa Viva, just to name a few. Which of those do you feel have been your most astute purchases?
Well, probably Darcy Brahma. I think he's given the owners a huge return on the racetrack as the champion 2-year-old, champion 3-year-old and champion 4-year-old. And then at stud he's earned over $30 million already in service fee income. And of course he's still a relatively young sire that's leaving winners every week.
Well, the tangerine colours of Te Akau Racing have made a lot of syndicate owners a lot of money over the years. No New Zealand horses won more domestic stakes earnings than Princess Coupe, 4.1 million. Darcy Brahma, you mentioned, another big success. Which ones have been your favourite?
Well, I think King's Chapel was a real favourite. He's a horse that I bought at the Premier sale for $35,000, and of course he won $1 million on the racetrack. He's a champion sprinter miler, champion weight for age horse, and Horse of the Year. And then we sold him to Windsor Park for stud duties, and now he's at stud in South Africa. So he was certainly one of my favourites. Another favourite was Marufati that, interestingly enough, I bought half an hour later for the same group of owners, and he was the champion 2-year-old. and went on as a 4-year-old to win Group 1 races. And the stable had a lot of fun with both those two horses. But we've had so many good horses from Karaka, it's really unfair to single anyone out, because we've just had so many people that have invested in these good horses, and I'd hate to offend any of them.
Well, this season's flying for Mark Walker in Singapore, and of course Jason Bridgman here. Horses like Darcy's Dream, Windborn, Wolf Whistle, all putting their hands up. Which have been the highlights from the season?
I think the highlight has been Mark Walker winning 3 races on New Year's Day. That was a tremendous achievement, and we've had horses like Rockfast that we think are going to be real contenders in races like the Avondale Guineas over 2,000 metres, and he's a real live chance in the Derby. He's probably our best Derby chance for some time. We've got horses like Wolf Whistle, and we've got probably half a dozen 2-year-olds that have won trials recently that we're really excited about, and we're really looking forward to racing them in the next 6 weeks.
Well, last season your focus was on buying colts with good stallion prospects from the sale. What will be the buying strategy this time round?
Well, last year we bought horses to race in Singapore, to race in New Zealand, and horses to race in Australia. And we'll be doing exactly the same this year. We've been really buoyed by the huge turnout that the race meetings have had in December and already in January. Terrific crowds. The betting turnover's up, and that will lead to increased stake money. So I think the tide's really turned for racing in New Zealand. I think there's a lot of exciting times ahead, and we want to buy horses to take advantage of those good times coming.
The strength of the catalogue at Karaka is always strong, but where do you see its particular strength this time?
Well, it's full of stallions that just leave winners week after week, like Savabeel, Darcy Brahma, O'Reilly. It's got horses, new sires like Pua Moa, has left some really exciting individuals. It's a really solid catalogue, and I think New Zealand Bloodstock have done a great job getting so many nice young horses. There's quality horses coming from Australia for the sale, a lot of Fastnet rocks in the sale, and yeah, it's an exciting catalogue, but what really impresses me as I go around all the farms is seeing the top class individuals, good, strong, good boned, sound horses that I've seen some that will really be Derby, Oaks, 2,000 guineas, 1,000 guineas contenders in the next couple of years.
DC Ellis, Tiakau, David, congratulations to you and the team.
Tiakau Racing will be represented in the Karaka Million by the Jason Bridgman trained Windborn. Windborns look very promising on the racetrack already, securing black type in the listed Murdoch Mule Stakes. The daughter to Darcy Brahma was sold out of the select yearling sale last year by David Ellis for $100,000 and is raced by Fortuna Syndications.
Well, she's just a lovely athletic filly, and you know, she's a compact filly, but she's just beautifully balanced and put together, and for a Darcy Brahma, a particularly strong early developing type. I think the first race she just ran one on pure ability and her sheer speed. You know, she's got a lot of speed, and then I think with the second race she did a few things wrong early, but then relaxed nicely on a very strong tempo, and then showed a bit of class to sort of overcome that and then finish off really strongly. So that was another step up stakes quality. So that was a very good run. And then coming out of that race into her most recent run, I think, you know, her speed probably brought her undone. Just, you know, going 1,200 metres, you can't afford to be burning the candle at both ends. And you know, I think we've got a filly that's going to be competitive. She's got the speed. We just need to just round her off the edges a little bit more and just get it a little settle a bit more in the early part of the race. And I think if she can drop the bridle early and use that speed late, she's going to be very hard to beat. Not too worried about the barrier draw, because I think it's a high pressure race, and we'll probably look to try and be in midfield. So I think a middle draw to inner draw would be fine. If she gets an outside gate, so be it. But I think a good track, plenty of pace, is going to be the key to her chances.